Many K-pop groups don't actually make their own music. Instead, labels usually provide their groups with songs created by writers and producers like myself, although that's not the case for all idols. Over the past decade, 17 has made hit after hit, winning dozens of awards, and yet they make their own songs. What are the secrets behind 17's music production?
하고 있었던 그 찰나에
This man's name is Lee, better known as Woozi. If you didn't know, 17 has 13 members and they're divided into 3 different units. The rap line, the performance team, and the vocal unit. And as you can tell, Woozi's in the vocal unit, except he has one other very important role. Woozi is 17's main producer. In fact, he's produced over 80% of the group's discography alongside Pyeongju, in addition to writing for other notable groups. I mean, my boy literally won Producer of the Year in 2023. He's a true professional. Now, make sure you remember that, and let's rewind 10 years. This is Adore You, 17's debut song. Now, turn your music brain on and tell me what that song has in common with this. I'm sure you can tell these songs all have a similar vibe. That's because they're all funky. Funk has been an essential part of 17's music over the years because of its danceability, and I mean, clearly it paid off. So, how do you create that sound? There's 3 key components. In both Adore You and Manse, the songs start off with a very prominent bass, immediately throwing us into that funky groove. So let's lay down a bass line to start off our beat. You can also add some slap bass for extra bounce. Next up is guitar, but not just any guitar, it's gotta be funky. Yeah, that's not funky enough. If I adjust the positions of these chords, and then add some muted strums for syncopation, check it out now. You can also use a wah pedal for extra spice, just like they used in Manse. And finally, the cherry on top is brass. 17 uses brass in a lot of their songs like Boom Boom, and of course, Aju Nice. The horns really help to elevate the energy of these songs, not to mention they're super catchy. I mean, look how people react when they hear brass.
Achoo!
Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa!
So let's throw some horns into our beat. And there we have the 3 key elements behind 17's music production. But hold on a second, this is only for their funky songs, and 17 really only made songs like that for about the first 3 years after debut, so what about the other 7 years? Well, here's the thing, 17's discography is extremely diverse. We've heard their funk songs, but they also make electronic music, ballads, rock, trap, Jersey Club, the list goes on. And because of that, I thought it might be a little bit difficult to define 17's production style. But that's when it hit me. 17 as a group, more than any other group that I've ever seen, makes music that embodies them. From their youthful beginnings, which encapsulated their boyhood, to an edgier sound as they grew into adolescence, and then their transition into adulthood. The release of Home marked 4 years since their debut and their full maturity. And since then, for the past 6 years, 17 has fully been exploring their sound, always doing something fun and unique. But did you forget what I told you at the start of this video? Where has all this creativity been coming from? Who has been pioneering 17's sound? That's right. Since 2015, Woozi and Pyeongju have developed 17 into the stars that they are today. So let's take a look at some of their secrets when making these tracks. Pay close attention to the chorus of this song. It's pretty hard, right? Now, why do you think that is? Of course, the sound selection and the hype vocals play a big role, but there's something else going on in there. Take a listen to this beat and try and predict when the chorus is going to come in. It wasn't where you thought, was it? That's called a delayed drop. Essentially, you expect the drop to follow in time with the build-up, but instead it gets delayed by a few measures. And Woozi and Pyeongju love doing this. It's most noticeable in Aju Nice, where each subsequent chorus gets delayed further and further. But here's what's so cool. 17 doesn't only use delayed drops, they also use fake drops. I fully expected the hook to come in, but then the energy dropped back down, and I realized that wasn't even the pre-chorus. Home is another great example of a fake drop. Listen closely. The pre-chorus builds a lot of tension and energy, but then we get this complete drop of sound. It's almost like ASMR. Then the energy starts building again, and then finally we get that tension release, which makes the hook sound so much more satisfying. But at the same time, having that fake drop also helps keep listeners interested. Look, I've been talking about their production this whole time, which Woozi's the head of, but 17 is known more for their performances than their music. And guess what? Hoshi, the leader of the performance team, has helped to choreograph a ton of their songs. And then there's the rap line. They're one of the only groups out there where I actually look forward to hearing them rap. Vernon's deep voice is a really nice compliment to the rest of 17, who generally have higher pitched voices. Then there's Wonwoo and S-Coups with their unique aggressive tones that always bring the energy up. And Mingyu, well, you know. But it doesn't stop there. Remember how I mentioned Woozi's in the vocal unit? I haven't even talked about the other members yet. Do-kyum, Seungkwan, Josh, and Junghan have some of the best vocals I think I've ever heard in K-pop. Speaking of which, did you hear that? That's a vocal harmony, and it is essential in music. Please bear with these terrible vocals for a second. So right now, we only have one vocal line. It sounds abysmal, but if I repeat that line in different melodies, sounds okay now. And 17 are masters at doing these vocal harmonies. All of this is to say, it's the extent to which 17's members get involved in all aspects of their craft that make them so good. You can see their talent, you can feel how much they care about what they do, and most importantly, they're having fun. I feel like there's just this amazing sense of balance and synergy when you bunch all of 17's talent together, because at the end of the day, they're just 13 talented, hardworking, hilarious guys, and I will be waiting for the next comeback. But 17 isn't the only group with crazy vocals and performances who are always doing something unexpected. Check out this video to learn about how aespa's genius music production and songwriting helped them dominate 2024.